Good evening, dear viewers, and welcome back to the review program. This week, ancient city Samarkand hosted another big international conference that focused on nuclear energy among OIC countries. In this episode, we will discuss the importance of the event and expected results that this forum can bring. By 2030, Uzbekistan aims to establish a reliable, cost-effective and environmentally friendly electricity supply by creating a comprehensive national nuclear infrastructure. A key priority is the construction of a small nuclear power plant, which will enhance national expertise and strengthen Uzbekistan's international standing in the nuclear sector. In this context, the support of the international organizations and learning the experience of leading nuclear countries are important. The international conference that held in Samarkand created this opportunity for the participants, including Uzbekistan. The conference brought together more than 150 leading experts in nuclear energy from 30 countries. The main purpose of the event was to discuss key issues related to the development and use of nuclear energy for peaceful purposes, including the legislative and institutional regulation, safety and the use of nuclear technologies across various industries. At the beginning of the event, Press Secretary to the President of Uzbekistan, Sherzod Asadov, delivered the message of the head of state to the conference participants.
Our country was one of the first in the world to begin the construction of small nuclear power plants in accordance with international requirements and standards. We consider the IAEA as our major partner in the successful implementation of these projects, as well as a number of healthcare and scientific programs. There is no doubt that the introduction of advanced nuclear power technologies will give a powerful impetus to the development of our country, create opportunities for new scientific and technical developments and transitioning to an innovative economy.
Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Mariano Grossi, also took a stage and highlighted Uzbekistan's efforts to support nuclear energy.
Uzbekistan is moving in this direction and is introducing nuclear energy, not in any way through the innovative path of modularity, about which I have a couple of things to say, is just a reflection of a wider global trend, which the message of the President was just mentioning. We are now in a situation where, by a convergence of factors, moving from the needs to address climate change, global warming, to the dilemmas of energy security, we do see the emergence of a new global consensus. This global consensus, as the President was recalling in its message, had a very important manifestation a year ago at the previous, we just finished in Baku, not far from here, the Conference of the Parties number 29.
The event featured several panel sessions, each focusing on key topics related to nuclear energy. The first session explored the potential for nuclear energy use in Organization of Islamic Cooperation countries, with a special focus on its development in Uzbekistan.
Uzbekistan started reforms in this area, legal framework and others which we are moving together with the support of our partners. But the first thing our president did when he established agency Uzatom, just for everybody to say, is the day when he signed about decree on the Uzatom agency, the next day, the second decree was to establish a branch of MIFI University. Why? Because considering for the having this vision for the long term, how to prepare the personnel, who will be operating. Actually, Mr. Grossi yesterday visited, and I think he was quite satisfied with the students studying there, conditions created there, which shows that we look in the complex. Because it's not, yes, we have experience in thermal power plants. We have now operating hydro, building now operating solar, wind. However, nuclear is something which requires commitment of the country, taken into account the responsibility not within the own nation, but in the world. Because we know that the nuclear community is very close. Any issue of any country impacts everybody. That's why there is a gradual step-by-step approach to study, to check, to look, and prepare personnel, select the best, safest, reliable technologies, and to move forward. That's why I would say that, yes, a nuclear power plant is in our plan. I mean, power generation will be in our energy mix. How and what and when to implement, I think with our partners, with the support of IE and other friends, we will make it success.
Uzbekistan is going to launch the first reactor of the small nuclear power plant in cooperation with Rosatom. The reactors will be commissioned every 6 months, with the entire station expected to be fully operational by 2032. This event was a great opportunity for Uzbek side to learn international practices and demonstrate its capability in this area.
We are building a small modular nuclear power plant as the part of the Rosatom project. The necessary documents and protocols have been formalized and signed. The construction is underway. It is important to note that this project incorporates technologies from various countries, including China, as well as modern solutions from France and Hungary. This makes the project truly international.
As of May 2024, there were 440 nuclear reactors in operation in 32 countries around the world. Every year, many countries are recognizing the essential role of nuclear energy.
COP29 in Baku, we had already 31 countries that have said that they want to triple global nuclear capacity by 2050. So in reality, there are, if you look at everywhere in the world, many countries in all continents are looking at nuclear energy as an essential piece of the puzzle. We are extending the life of the existing fleet. We are restarting units that have been prematurely shut down. We are doing upgrades to make more, to get more power out of existing units, and we are building new nuclear power plants, large, small, very small, in all continents: Europe, North America, South America, obviously Central Asia, the Arabic countries, and also in Southeast Asia.
As part of this international conference, press briefing was held with the participation of Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, Rafael Mariano Grossi. There, the foreign and local media outlets were given a chance to ask the questions that they are interested in. Uzbek journalists were very active during the event, asking the opinion of the expert on Uzbekistan's efforts and capability in this area.
Uzbekistan has a very serious national agency, which is Uzatom, that is working in a very systematic way to move forward with the project. Uzbekistan has a national regulator, which is sometimes missing in newcomer countries. They move fast in the commercial side, they want to sign contracts, and then they do not have the internal control mechanisms and authorities to do that. So in this case, I think you have this double advantage of having already a pretty, I would say, solid institutional building block to move forward. Does that mean that everything is ready? No, clearly no. We have to work, and this is why I offered to the President, and the President agreed to have a roadmap of a number of activities where we are going to be advising the country on how best to introduce nuclear energy, the percentages. Now we know that there is a concrete project, there is the SMR project with Rosatom, which is going to be there, and is going to be adding a relatively small portion of nuclear energy to the grid. But the idea of the President, as I understand it, and as he told me, is to move to perhaps more, as other countries have done, even gas-producing countries like Uzbekistan have done. So we are going to be assisting them in this regard. We are going to be accompanying the growth and the establishment of the workforce through a number of concrete courses, training programs, exchanges that we are going to have and facilitate so Uzbek experts can get experience and so on. So all of these are areas of work that we are going to be developing as of now.
First of all, we are very glad to see you here in Samarkand. So my question is, it's planned to build a small modular MPP in Uzbekistan by 2033. And when this was announced on the media, many people opposed this idea, especially eco-activists, regarding its environmental threats and also the safety, regarding the safety for the well-being of the people in the country. So what I'm going to ask is, what kind of specific actions can Uzbekistan take to construct this power plant, let's say nuclear power plant in the country, in a way that it's safe for the well-being of the people and also for the environment?
Well, I think that the best guarantee that the Uzbek population and the media and environmentalists can have is that they work hand in hand with the IAEA. The IAEA is an organization that has been set up precisely, among other things, precisely to make sure that a country that goes in this direction has an agreement with it to look into the proliferation side, so we check that the material is always in good use, that there is no deviation. We perform a number of safety missions, advisory, peer review services. You know, when you start a nuclear program, it's like, you know, a very long relationship. Nuclear power plants these days operate for 100 years, and I'm not exaggerating. So it's an intergenerational thing. So you get into a relation which is very intricate, which is very close. So the agency is providing constantly advice, and the Uzbek nuclear sector is constantly working with the agency. So one cannot say that this is a kind of a project which is going to be happening in a way that it's not under monitoring, under impartial, objective monitoring all the time. You know, nuclear industry is by far the most regulated and controlled industry that exists, with national controls, but also international controls, which you don't have in other sectors. So I believe that by entering into all these agreements that you have seen today, exchanges of documents here and there, my meeting with the president, what you can see is that they have decided to walk this walk hand in hand with the IAEA. And in the IAEA, there is 178, 180 voices. So everything is exposed, everything is done in full transparency. So I believe this is a good indication. Of course, doubts are legitimate and questions can be asked. We never silence those. I personally welcome that, any conversation about any doubts that may emerge. But I think that everything is in place for the project to move forward in a correct way.
As a result of the event, important agreements and documents were signed and recommendations were prepared on the peaceful use of nuclear energy, improving safety and fostering international cooperation in Central Asia and OIC countries. Here our analysis come to an end. Thank you for watching. Don't miss review program every Sunday on Uzreport TV.